If you work in Unity for a longer time, you probably know onDrawGizmos function and how can it be used. For example, let's say we have value object here on scene, and this object contains some points specified in list. We want to draw lines between these points so we can know how the patch looks. For example, let's say that we have start point here and we want to move some object, enemies for example, here, then here and here. So we have draw line how this patch will look. We can also change these points in list and change this path in real time. This is obvious example and anyone probably know onDrawGizmos selected or onDrawGizmos without this selected word, which means that this will be drawn even if this object isn't selected. We can also set color here. Let's set it to red for example, and now our line is red. But what if we want to use it with scriptable objects? Let's see, we have scriptable object value holder here, and this is script for it. I also add onDrawGizmos selected function, but as you can see, it is grayed out. There is an information that this is event function from Unity. There isn't any information, and as you can probably deduct, when creating new object, nothing happened. We have points here, but nothing is displayed. Why you want to display these points with scriptable object? Let's jump to my another project, my space shooter project, which Devlog series is available on my channel. And I have few scriptable objects here, which provide sequences for enemies. These sequences tell them how they should move around. Select this file and we have list of movement actions here, position and some other properties which can be adjusted. When I spawn enemies, I want them to move from top to bottom in different variations. As you can see, I have variation for 2 columns of enemies, 3 columns or 4 columns of enemies. Let's start with the first one. The enemies should spawn here on start position, move here and then change direction and move here out of the screen and then they disappeared somehow. Here's the end. For 4 columns, I also have waiting time here, so they should spawn on the start position, move to wait here, and then move out of the screen also. I defined this in scriptable object because I want to use it with multiple enemies, and I don't want to use different system for different enemies. I just want to have one file which provides movement schema for all enemies. As you can see, there are positions X and Y, and when I modify this also changes in the real time. It's much more easier to maintain these values when I have drawn this, because without of this I need to imagine how the enemies will move around, or I need to play the game to see how it looks in the real. But this is not good solution because it can take much more time than creating these movement actions in the editor with these lines. So let's back to our project, and as I mentioned before, we have this function and it doesn't work. This is because scriptable objects don't have onDrawGizmos selected function, but it's okay because we have another possibilities to draw the lines on the screen, as you can see in my previous project. So let's modify this script a little. We need to implement onEnable and onDisable functions first. Those are of course available in the scriptable object. As you can see, they are displayed as event function. We will also need another function. I've named it onSceneUpdate, but it is not the rule. You can name it whatever you want, but this param is obligatory. Now in onDisable and onEnable function, we need to add subscribing to event. So let's get sceneView dot during scene GUI and add onSceneUpdate. And now with onDisable, we need to unsubscribe this. And now we want to move the script here, delete this function. Let's save this and move to the editor. And as you can see, when selecting this, nothing happened and we have some errors here. This is because using Gizmos is still not available in scriptable object. Instead of this, we need to change Gizmos to handles. And we also have handles draw line function. And now when we save this and move to the project, we have our lines drawn. We can move around these values. And as you can see, this is drawn in real time. And we can also change the color of this, but we will not use Gizmos color anymore. Instead of this, we need to set handles color and set it to, for example, color blue. After saving, as you can see, we have blue line. It is not good visible, so let's maybe change this to cyan. And now it's better. Okay, so let's add some labels here also, because we can assume that first point is our start point and the last one is finish. So we can also add values here. And to do this, we can use handles.label. Then we need to write position here. So we will get position from first point, points.0, and we need to set text here and let's name it start. Okay, as you can see, we have start here. It is exactly at this point, at finish, at the end of points list. And we can use short form also. Finish. And we have start, our path, and finish. When we add more elements here, this finish will change for another point also. We can also set colors for these labels. As you can see, they are white for now, but we can change this using GUI color. And let's set it, for example, to red, and now our text is red. So if you want to change color of handles of lines, you could use handles color, but if you want to change color of labels, you should use GUI color. And here it is. You can combine this in your system. You can add more lines drawn here. This is a really simple system and easy to use. At the end, take care of one more thing, because with Gizmos you can also draw cube or draw sphere or some other stuff. Handles are not as developed as Gizmos. With handles we can only draw lines or labels. Keep this in mind. Okay, and that's all. Hope this short tutorial helps. If you are also interested in game which I create, check my devlog series on my channel. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and see you soon in another. Bye!